Welcome everyone to Courtside, where we discuss the post-election litigation. Brought a new backdrop for you to switch it up. It's day 13 after the election, and if you're Donald Trump, it went about as well as, every other day the last 12 has been, which is to say not well at all. Today also brought some new danger to Trump's friends. So the litigation count stands at 1 in 25. That is, Donald Trump has won one itty-bitty case. He's lost 25 of them. So let me take you through a quick tour of what happened in the states today. In Pennsylvania, Trump voters withdrew their lawsuit where they were trying to contest the election results. They had claimed 680,000 votes of fraud and so on. Poof, that lawsuit's gone. Trump voters in Wisconsin withdrew a similar lawsuit today. Gone. Poof. In Georgia, same thing. This was a lawsuit that was alleging software glitches and the like, and that was dismissed as well. Now in Georgia, a county today did find 2,600 ballots that they hadn't counted. This is an overwhelmingly Republican county, so it's projected to help Trump. You'd think if you're Trump, that's good news for you, but the problem is Trump is behind by 14,205 votes. 2,600 is just not going to matter at all. That's his best news today, and it amounts to not very much at all. In Michigan, the Trump voters dropped their lawsuit in which they alleged that people weren't on the rolls and such, and they withdrew that. Oh, and also remember that I talked yesterday about the software claims that Trump is making about Dominion, that the hardware and software is all, broken and biased against Republicans and the like. I talked about that on yesterday's Courtside. It's totally, thoroughly debunked by both federal government and state government officials. Today, a new letter arrived from 59 of the top computer scientists and election experts in the country. They called Trump's fraud assertions, quote, unsubstantiated and technically incoherent. Now, the big action in court today happened in Pennsylvania. Now, remember, we've talked a lot about Trump's big federal lawsuit alleging ballot observers weren't allowed in, that the votes arrived too late, and he wanted to throw out 1 million ballots because of this. Well, yesterday, Trump deleted the 20 pages of allegations, the whole ballot observer thing that mattered. And he didn't add any new complaints. He just deleted all of these allegations of ballot observers and fraud. So their supposedly federal lawsuit impacts very few things now. Rudy Giuliani today got all defensive saying, oh, you people can't read. The claims are still there about ballot observers and the like. That's just plain old false. In the complaint last week that they filed, there were 3 counts about ballot observers and that they weren't allowed to count ballots and so on. Those are the 3 claims for legal relief. All 3 of them have now been deleted. They've deleted it. It's now about a much more narrow thing. There are complaints about the number of cured ballots in which someone votes and votes improperly in some way and is allowed to fix it later. That's a very tiny number of ballots. Again, Biden is ahead by about 70,000 votes in Pennsylvania. Trump's cured ballot claims are never going to see those kinds of numbers. Now, the Trump campaign also can't get their story straight. Giuliani was saying this nonsense about how it's still all in there in the complaint when it's not. And today they posted something tonight on their website saying that they, quote, decided to strategically restructure their lawsuit. Well, everyone in law knows that restructuring is just a code word for bankruptcy, which is something I think Donald Trump knows a lot about. One other really significant development tonight, the Washington Post tonight is reporting that the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, who's a Republican, has been pressured to change the legal vote count. This is what the Washington Post says, quote, Raffensperger said he was stunned that Lindsey Graham, Senator of South Carolina, appeared to suggest he find a way to toss legally cast ballots. It sure looked like he wanted to go down that road. Now, Graham, for his part, denies it. I have no idea what happened, but that is exactly the kind of thing you have a federal investigation for. And come to think of it, I think Bill Barr set up an election task force, which presumably would look into this. And if he doesn't, well, the next Justice Department, which will take office in 2 months and 4 days, will do so. So I'm leaving you tonight with the words of law professor Rick Hasen, who's one of our nation's foremost election law experts. This is what he said. With an overwhelming number of losses and withdrawal of cases, there is no path for the Trump campaign to overturn the results in a single state, much less states making up more than 36 electoral college votes. It's over. There's no path. Rudy Giuliani can say what he wants, and the president can keep declaring he's won, but there's no plausible legal way this election gets overturned. We're not talking about 3 Hail Marys anymore. We're talking done. Rick's got it right. In the end, Trump is trying to restructure the vote that took place 13 days ago, the vote that you and I participated in. The good news is he has not succeeded in restructuring our American system, much as he tries. The courts have fought back at every turn. State court, federal court, trial court, appellate court. He's won nothing. And pretty soon he's going to have a restructured life down in Mar-a-Lago or wherever.